It's all starting to make sense, my friends. This is Tony. Hope you're all doing well. I got so many things to show you in this video. All that stuff we were wondering about. What's going on in the skies? We now have the answer, potentially. I think we have an answer. This came out a couple hours ago from the Sean Ryan Show. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's a very huge podcast here on YouTube. He interviews a lot of different people. And of course, he interviewed a lady not too long ago about what's going to happen in America in 2025. She happens to work for a certain particular organization in the GOV. You might know it. And let me show you who I'm referring to. I'm referring to this lady right here. As you can see right down here, this is where she used to work. Her job was at looking for those that are trying to, of course, come into America and do some pretty bad things. And apparently she was warning people back 3 weeks ago. And then we had, of course, the Cybertruck, the thing that happened in New Orleans. And guess what? We now have the guy who was driving the Cybertruck, who parked it, sent an email, apparently to one of Sean Ryan's friends. And we're going to get into that in this video. And you're not going to believe what it says. We're talking about the drones. We're talking about the orbs. I am not joking. This is pretty ridiculous. Let me just show you so you know I'm not pulling your leg. He just put this out 3 hours ago. It's already got 200,000 views on his channel. He's interviewing this guy named Sam Shoemate about the Cybertruck. And let me just show you the title so you know I'm telling you the truth. And he's talking about that this is technology that only China and, of course, America has, and it has to do with these drones. They use a certain sort of gravitational propulsion, which makes sense because of their speed, right? And he said, and I was trying to figure out where these were from. I was thinking they're either from our GOV or China. I was thinking that. I've been saying that on video, and it looks like I might be right. I don't know. This, of course, this is just a guy's email. He has been in the military. Okay, I don't know. It could be him just making it up. But the fact it's on one of the biggest podcasts in the world probably has got some veracity to it. I mean, he's probably number 2 under Joe Rogan. So this isn't a small podcast. I mean, he's got 200,000 views in 3 hours, which is pretty sizable. All right. At any rate, so like I said, we're going to get into all that in this video and much more. I wanted to first mention, though, food supply, 25-year shelf life. Link is in the description. 3 months worth for $5.97. You definitely want to get this if you have not already. Link is in the description for that. Also, of course, this book here, The Lost Ways, How Your Great-Great-Grandfather Lived Without Electricity. They're talking about these drones. They have this exceptional speed to them. They're able to turn on a dime because of this new sort of propulsion, which, of course, me and lots of other people have been talking about for years on YouTube, saying they probably have this technology. And America's had this technology for a long time, I believe, as well. They just didn't want us to know about it, of course. The fact is, they say that these things, these drones, have much more they can do than just simply fly around, okay? They can do some pretty unbelievable things otherwise that could cause us a lot of trouble. Meaning, checkmate type of stuff, okay? And that's what they talk about. We're going to get into that. Like I said, though, you might want to get this book. Link is in the description. How to Live Without Electricity. You want to buy that before something happens. Get the printed version, $37 plus shipping. Link is in the description. Of course, gold and silver's link below. You got a deal going on right now at AppMax. Go check it out. Let's get back to the video. So, of course, like I said, we're going to talk about all of this. The fact is, you can see this is the time when this would happen. Our economy is in the gutter. China's economy is in the gutter. Pretty much the entire world's economy is in the gutter. You had Germany fail. You had France fail. Germany was like a month and a half ago. France was like 2 weeks ago. Economic governmental collapse, right? And of course, they're seeing it now in Canada a little bit as well. We're seeing in America, full list of major retailers shut their stores down in 2024. We have all these stores closing left and right. It's getting ridiculous at this point. You got like almost 1,000 Family Dollar, 700 of them, CVS, 600, Big Lots, and you have massive companies going out of business as well. I've been talking about this for quite a while here on YouTube. The fact is, this stuff is what leads to things like World War II. That's the type of things that happened when that's what happened last time. The whole economy fell apart. And of course, those at the top want to vie for, positions, of course, of power. And that's when these things start to break out. And this is maybe what would explain some of the stuff we're going to get into in a minute. The fact is we have all these stores like the Container Store going out of business, TGI Fridays, a lot of places just left and right, while they tell us the economy is great. Well, we know obviously that's not the case. Obviously the latest ones were Party City and Red Lobster and others. But let's get into the main story of this video. All right, so we have here, of course, let's just start with this here. And actually, let me check something. My computer is overheating. Let me just get this thing going right. There's an easy way for me to solve it. There we go. All right, so mystery continues to shroud Las Vegas, of course, Cybertruck. What were his motives? And again, now we might know his motives. Sean Ryan here basically interviewed today. Let me show you the guy. I don't even have the guy's picture up. I just have I have the email. Let me show you the picture of the guy. That might help, right?
Very visible.
Okay, one sec here. Where is this guy at? All right, here we are. This guy right here. So apparently this is the guy that got the email from the guy who had the Cybertruck in Las Vegas. His name, the guy with the Cybertruck, his name was Matt. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Livelsberger or something like that. The guy was in the military, right? And it's just so bizarre. We've seen this is the second person that was in our military doing this just in a short period of time. It's just so bizarre. Now, this guy got an email from that particular man. This man here on the screen, his name is Sam Shoemate. And he goes through this email. And here is the email. In case I do not make it to my decision point or on to the Mexico border, I'm sending this now. Please do not release this until January 1st and keep my identity private until then. First off, I am not under duress or control. My car was a 2000 black Ford Mustang V6 for verification. What we have been seeing with drones is the operational use of gravitic propulsion systems powered aircraft by most recently China in the East Coast, but throughout history, the U.S. And this is what I've been saying for years here on YouTube. They just tell us that, no, you're just this. And of course, I knew all this time. I've been saying this for years that we've had this technology. They just don't want us to know it. And here we are. Now other countries have it, and they're playing with us. They're messing with us with it. Okay, so now China has this technology, this gravitic propulsion systems, and it makes sense. You watch these videos, they move so quickly, it's impossible for a normal craft to move this fast. They've been launching them from the Atlantic from submarines for years, but this activity recently has picked up. As of now, it's just a show of force. They're using it in a similar to show how they used the balloon. You remember those balloons? What was that, like a year and a half ago or something? Which are also part of an integrated comms system. There are dozens of these balloons in the air at any given time. So what is because of the speed and stealth of these unmanned AC, they are the most dangerous, of course, to our security that has ever existed. They basically have unlimited load capability and can park it over WH if they wanted. It's checkmate. See, this is what I was wondering myself. I was really curious about this. I was thinking it was China. I didn't think it was aliens. I thought it was either RGOV or theirs. And it's so bizarre because we have another story here. And actually, I kind of skipped ahead a little bit. Let me show you this. So this is the lady who first started drawing attention to all these things that are going to be happening in 2025 right here. Her interview was right here. She's talking about all these, the Cybertruck, all this stuff happening of recent was going to happen. She was calling us 3 weeks ago. So what did our wonderful Prez come out and say? Let me show you this. All right, so we have an official claiming that he was told to cover, of course, up the numbers. And what numbers? Okay, those, of course, crossing over, but it wasn't just anybody. It was those with these type of ties right here. There's so many of these type of people currently in America because they let them in. They let them in. And this is what this lady was referring to, or was warning us about in Sean Ryan's podcast or show, whatever you want to call it. At any rate, you get the idea. So these were things that were happening that they just wanted to kind of brush under the rug. They wanted us to just ignore it, pretend it wasn't happening. And apparently some of the people in our military want to let us know about all this. So this guy who did the Cybertruck thing, apparently that was a stunt to get his name out there. I don't know. And then that from there, he wanted to put out this email. Apparently this is what it is. I don't know. This is so strange. So of course, this email is talking about these drones having basically gravitational propulsion. I don't, this word gravitic, whatever that is. Apparently that's the word they use. Basically gravitational propulsion. He goes on and says a number of other things as well. They've been launching them from submarines. Talks about the balloons. They have speed and stealth. That's why they can't catch them. He goes on, and what else does he says? I've been followed for over a week, and they're looking to move, of course, on me, and are unlikely going to let me cross into Mexico. Apparently he didn't, came back, but they won't because they know okay, so this is interesting. So I have knowledge of this program and also war, of course, crimes that were covered, up. This is interesting because we were talking about that there's probably going to be some of this going on, that there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be revealed this year. I was thinking it's going to start happening last year, but apparently it's going to be happening this year. Obviously a lot of stuff being covered up. So he goes in and talks about former, like Afghanistan and things like that. Gets into a bunch of other stuff. But I thought this is really interesting that this is what's come out with regards to this guy with the Cybertruck. Very, very strange. Then we have this here. So we have people tweeting about this as well, claiming the drones seen over the East Coast are utilizing anti-gravity technology, some sort of gravitational technology. I've known about this technology for many, many years. I figured that our GOVs had it and used it for a long time. They just didn't want us to know. So what's interesting, of course, is I pointed out several articles in previous videos showing these dots with regards to China. I talked about something that happened about a year and a half ago in Canada, just across from Tacoma, Washington, about 30 miles away. They had 4 power substations all get hacked. And just above it, 30 miles above that, China was doing, of course, military, training or something like that. 30 miles north of there. So I was thinking, well, that's kind of weird. And I was saying that this was like a year and a half, 2 years ago, I was talking about that. And then we had, of course, the balloons. And then we've had recently, there was a Chinese guy that got arrested for flying a drone over a base. There's all the farmland that's owned around our bases that are Chinese owned. A lot of people don't know about that. We had the secret police stations. I talked about all this recently, and it made me think maybe they're the ones. And it looks like maybe that is the case. We have also them building up, their powers in various places now. Satellite images showing ongoing construction where they're trying to essentially build up. It looks like they're getting ready for something, right? And of course, like I said, we had all these drone videos. And this one, I showed this on my other channel because I thought it was really kind of funny. This kind of shows you everything in this video. It's kind of funny. It's got the fog. It's got the fog here. It's got a UA, whatever it is, drone or something with a light on it. This is right above the guy's house, of course. So, and then it makes you wonder what this fog is. Now I'm actually more concerned about this fog. As a matter of fact, I've already bought myself, of course, some of these masks. And I'm not talking about the ones we used back in 2020. I'm talking about real ones, like ones that actually make it so you don't breathe certain stuff. You know what I mean? I actually bought some of those yesterday or day before yesterday. When I started seeing all this fog stuff, I'm like, bro, I'm not breathing that stuff. Let me show you what I'm talking about, because this is ridiculous. This is getting ridiculous. Let me show you this. Look at this. Whenever you shine a flashlight into it, it looks like this.
There's not a cloud in the sky. It looks like it's snow. There's nothing wet.
You see that? Isn't that ridiculous? And of course, there's many of these videos. There's like hundreds of them. This is in Daytona Beach a couple days ago, I think. Look at this. Oh, yeah, that's so loud, dude. Look at this fog. So you can see this fog over here. It's also over here. It's like coming in from two sides into Daytona Beach there. And there's so many of these videos. Look at that one. This is just somebody's, CCTV or whatever it is on their home. You got here 50 degrees plus fog. Over here, another one of these. Look at that, man. That's why I bought them, man. I was like, I ain't not breathing now. I don't know what that is, dude. I don't want that. That looks crazy. What is that? And apparently this is not in a few places. Apparently there's like, I saw a list of like 30 places that this stuff is at. And, it might be certain cities or whatever, but it's in like 30 plus states at this point. I've seen at least 30. I think I saw 30 states that it's in. It may not be in, it might be only be in certain areas. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know where it's all at. This is in Florida right here. Apparently there's a number of these videos are from Florida, particularly the ones that have this really heavy stuff are from Florida. I noticed that a lot of them, although there's some that are not from Florida that look the same. So at any rate, so you got that going on. Oh my goodness. This is a wonderful year already, isn't it? 2025. What is it? Like 3 days in and we already got we got the UFOs, we got the drones, we got China, we got cyber trucks. What the heck's going on here, man? This is crazy. We had all those airlines going bankrupt. And then on top of that, we had a number of them crash recently. Obviously, these drones are not owned by Boeing or they'd be all out of the sky at this point because they can't keep anything in the sky, right? Boeing planes, 737s and others. We have Korean, Azerbaijan, all these places. There was even an NBA team on one of these planes that almost went down. That was like around that time as well. Pretty ridiculous. Pretty ridiculous. And you have two different airlines going bankrupt, Spirit, and I can't remember the other one's name. Silver Airways, that's what it's called, Silver Airways. But so many of these stories going on right now. And on top of that, all the stuff, man, we were talking about how all these job numbers were fake. And, well, they weren't fake. We never said that. We said, well, technically they were. There were some that were just straight up made up numbers. But there was also the factor of them just making GOV jobs and while all the private sector were going down. Right? Government jobs have risen by 3 million since 2020. Only sector has been seen notable job creation. Meanwhile, the private sector lost jobs for 9 straight months. I think healthcare's went up. That's about the only sector that went up in private, pretty much. We have the stock market right now. It's never been so concentrated. The biggest U.S. stock market cap, 750 times larger than the 75th percentile stock, the most ever. Higher than the Great Depression. This metric exceeded all other past market bubbles. As you can see here, the 2000.com bubble pales in comparison to where we're at right now. Right now, we're above the Great Depression. Apparently, we're just looking for a big roller coaster ride down. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.